confirm the previous unsigned one, which was submitted to some investigation carried out by Zondo Commission. So, in which the signed version is with the Zondo Commission.
So at 107, is this the same Kuba who had also done the March rendition report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he says that in October 2020, I deposed to an affidavit providing details on the meeting between Lieutenant General Mkwanazi and I, which was arranged by General Nematanzela of Crime Intelligence. The affidavit was drafted through the help of Advocate Ali SC, who was at the time assisting the Zondo Commission, and the attached draft unsigned is attached as HK1. That's the one that starts at 109. I think 108 is missing from the bundle. Have you got 108?
I have 108 is where the 16th of January 2026 one commissioned.
Yeah. And it's in the soft copy. And he says on 23 October 2020 at 19:53, Advocate Ali sent an email containing 2 attachments of the affidavits drafted during our consultation, which took place the same month. These draft affidavits had no material differences except that the other was refined and had extensive track changes in which Advocate requested me to attach proof or provide clarity. The affidavit was subsequently signed during our follow-up consultation. So he says, presumably when you tried to obtain this affidavit, was unable to locate the signed copy.
The signed copy, yes, indeed. That's why there was a request that he must confirm this is the one he deposed.
So at 109, he says at paragraph 3, I have made 2 statements in the investigation of a criminal case against former National Commissioner of the SAPS, Lieutenant General Pashlani, and he cites the Pretoria Central case number. The present affidavit must be read in conjunction with those statements. In February 2018, I received several telephone calls from Major General Nematanzela of Crime Intelligence. He stated that he wanted to introduce me to a person in Sandton who had information relating to, and is that omission there, is that intentional? Relating to, there's a space. You don't know what that refers to. He says, I knew General Nematanzela because I had previously obtained a statement from him when investigating the rendition matter. I agreed to the meeting but did not want to meet in Sandton. I suggested that the meeting take place in Pretoria. General Nematanzela provided me with the details of the venue, which turned out to be a 5-star hotel past Menlyn. I don't recall the name of the hotel, but I'll find the name for you because I recall where it was. I traveled to the venue together with 2 of my IPID investigators, Mr. Matlakeng and Mr. Gibson. We had some difficulty locating the venue. I received several calls from General Nematanzela to give me the directions. We kept getting lost. My cell phone records can be used to identify the date, time, and venue of the meeting. I eventually found the venue and then needed to phone Nematanzela to find out where he was in the hotel. He directed me to the lobby. It was dusk when I arrived. I imagine it was approximately 1800 hours. Gibson and Matlakeng remained in the vehicle while I went in to meet with Nematanzela, and he is anonymous witness. I did not tell him anything about what had been discussed in the meeting. I went straight to Mr. Sissoko's office.
Sorry.
Nemutanzela and I remained in the lobby while we waited for the anonymous witness. Sorry, at 110, eh? We had 110.
Yes, I have that.
Yeah. He was in telephonic discussion with the witness. In one of his discussions with this person, I recall him explaining that we, quote, we are already seated here waiting for you. Nebuchadnezzar and I had drinks, juice, while we waited for the anonymous witness. After one of his calls, Nebuchadnezzar said to me that we could go now. We took the lift and went to one of the floors. I do not recall which floor it was. When we got out of the lift, I saw Lieutenant General Mkwanazi. I immediately recognized him. I had interviewed him in the rendition matter. Mkwanazi asked us to switch off our cell phones and to hand them to him. He took the phones and placed them in an adjacent room. Present in the meeting were General Mkwanazi, Nemutanzela, and me. I do not recall precisely how long the meeting lasted. I imagine it took approximately 1 to 1.5 hours. I was present in the meeting with Mkwanazi and Nemutanzela. Mkwanazi started the meeting by talking about politics. He later explained that there were 2 IPID officials who had given Section 204 statements, Nkabinde and Mashlangu. 204 of the Criminal Procedure Act deals with witnesses who are themselves implicated in criminal wrongdoing, who have agreed to testify on behalf of the state against an accomplice. Mkwanazi asked me for information that could implicate McBride in criminal wrongdoing involving Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. He wanted to know what they were involved in and how they were involved. I explained to him that I did not spend time with McBride socially and was accordingly not in a position to provide him with details of his relationship with O'Sullivan. I should emphasize that at no point did he suggest that I should lie. Mkwanazi said I would have taken that I would be taken care of. That who held the post of Chief Director, which would be at the rank of Major General in SAPS, would be promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General, which was on the same rank as him. Mkwanazi indicated that both Nkabinde and Mashlangu would also be promoted into higher ranks within the SAPS because of their
Those were unpatriotic.